Don't forget Roger Smith.
Roger Smith.
Leron, that's right on, from Carolina. And Leron from Digimon.
Any other characters in the... Yes.
Jack.
Okay, enough of that.
My hand is shaking.
For everything.
I've done a lot of games. I'm probably best known as Tank MC from Call of Duty. Or for Mass Effect, Shepard. And 1/3 of all the Stormtroopers in Star Wars games.
And Rebels.
And Rebels too, Star Wars Rebels. And then in the original animation world, right now I'm working as Zebrelius in Star Wars Rebels. And
Starscream from Transformers Prime.
And Heatwave from Transformers Rescue Bots. And tons of other shows. So that's my gig.
It's going to be Attila Buckethead on the new Tangled
My hand is
series.
shaking.
Yes. Oh, and Wolverine for about the last 10, 12 years. I've been playing Wolverine too.
And what did you do there? Well, I started out in anime too, and I'm an actor and a director and a singer, and I directed the dub for Cowboy Bebop. And I was Julia, because I was so madly in love with Spike, so I knew I had to play Julia if she ever came along. And then I was in Wolf's Rain, which I also directed, Lady Jagra, because I was hungry to eat Johnny on Bosch, as most of us are.
The wizard, honey.
I know, tell me about it. But Noriko from Fushigi for old schoolers out there, and then now Naruto. I directed Naruto for 10 years and played Kurenai Sensei. I love her, she's so fun. And now Mei, the Mizukage, who's got jilted at the altar. Homura, very old woman. Asla Katsuyu, who speaks several old I sang all the songs for a game series called Silent Hill. Then I was the major in Ghost in the Shell, and Cornelia in Code Geass, something in Brule, in Glitter Force. It's just great fun to play someone old and mean, because I have a feeling that's what I'm going to end up being very soon. Old and mean. Let's see, any Dungeons & Dragons fans out there? All right, well, how do you want to do this? So I was on Critical Role for 4 episodes with Will Friedle and Felicia Day and that Matt Mercer and Travis and Laura and all the gang play. So if you like D&D, watch Critical Role on Thursday nights. It's an amazing, amazing time. And I'm currently directing Tangled for Disney, Pen Zero Part-Time Hero for Disney, another new show for Disney, and a new show for Warner Brothers, and all stuff. I got to sit in on World of Warcraft recently, and Here's the Storm. So I'm busy. Everybody's busy, busy, busy. Yeah, it's exciting.
Very cool. All right, you guys. So now we want to hear what's on your mind. So come on up one at a time, and we'll take your questions. And we'll try to answer them.
Come on up, don't be
Cool.
shy.
We'll form a line right here. Go ahead, come on up. Start a line right here, and just make your way back there.
Don't make us come down there. Will.
And just for time constraints, so everybody gets a chance to ask their question and stuff, let's try to limit the my friend lives in special shout-outs. Okay? All right. Which question, sir?
So what got you into voice acting?
I don't know how to do anything else. I got in accidentally. I've been doing stupid voices since I was a kid. And originally I started doing answering machine messages back when we had a little tape in our answering machines. I'm really old. I know it's before your time to look it up. It's a thing called a cassette tape. But one day I got this new machine and I thought, well, I'm just going to do something really goofy on there. And literally I did the voice of Goofy. And so I did something like, "Orders, you reached me, leave a message." And I got here's the wrong number. Somebody called accidentally, and they heard the message, and they left a message on the machine, and they were just cracking up. I just hear them in the background go, "Dude, you gotta hear this, man. Let's call us back." And so he did redial, and his buddies called me back, and then it just kept going. And they started calling me every day or every other day, and they were telling their friends, so I was getting all these random phone calls from people. And they said, dude, change your message, we want to hear what else you can do. I thought, okay, this is fun. So I started doing all these, every impression that I could, and most of them were terrible. But it sort of encouraged my terrible habit, and I just started doing it for fun, and then sort of lucked into it. I was working in a film studio much later on in a mailroom. I was a struggling musician, and the head of the mailroom was casting a Japanimation show called The Guyver, and he needed somebody to do a monster.
You were a MacGyver?
Not MacGyver. But I can fix almost anything with paper clips and duct tape, just for the record. So anyway, I had the deepest voice in the mailroom, and he offered me free breakfast and free lunch if I could do a creature voice and match it to lip sync on the tape. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just hungry, so I went there on the weekend. He showed me an image of a creature freaking out another creature and hitting him with it. And he said, what would that sound like? And I went into the booth, I looked at the picture, and I just went, and he goes, okay, you're hired. And I haven't stopped doing it since. I just did it for fun on the side. I stayed at that same film company, became an executive over the course of the next 15 years. And then at that time, I booked a radio commercial for 7-Eleven. And I thought that was going to be my ticket out, because the film company was getting really icky at the time. And so I quit my job, and I started doing it full time, and then the union went on strike, and I was out of work for a long time and struggled for years, but I just kept doing it because I love to do it. Reading for little kids. When my kids were little, I would read for their classrooms, and they became my teachers. And so even if I wasn't doing this professionally, I'd probably still be doing it in my car or for people who didn't really know any better. So, torturing people on the street.
Just figure out a way to get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the secret to happiness, is figure out what you love to do and then figure out a way to get paid for it. Because you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, it's still work.
You work a little bit,
but
yeah.
it's good work. It's
Yeah.
fulfilling. So how did you start?
Oh, I did a lot of theater, and I was doing Shakespeare down at the Old Globe in San Diego after grad school, and I decided I wanted to go up to LA to be on Star Trek. I ended up on Xena Warrior Princess, and the horse I was being hanged on reared up and fell on top of me and dislocated my kneecap. So when I came back to LA, I was working at the Beetlejuice Rack of the Graveyard Review at Universal Studios Hollywood with other voice actors like Wally Wingert, D. Bradley Baker, Darren Norris, and I couldn't do it anymore. So a friend of mine recommended me to this voiceover company who did Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and I started doing that, and that was it. And so I never looked back.
Yeah, I do.
My favorite part of her story is that she studied and worked at the Old Globe, Shakespeare, theatrically trained, and the only thing she wanted was to be on Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's the most awesome part about
That's
that.
the depth of my nerddom. That's my foundation layer, and it just builds up from there.
Achievement unlocked.
That's right.
Thank you for your question. Great.
All right, sir, your question.
What was your favorite role you played?
Whatever I'm doing tomorrow, because I'm working. I can't choose, man. They're like children. I mean, if you had to choose which child to save in an emergency, which one would you choose? You're going to try to, please everybody. I love them all for very different reasons. And on different days, I have different favorites depending on how terrible traffic is. If traffic's really bad, I'll just be thinking about Wolverine because I'm going to slice everybody to bits. If I'm having a really great day, it might be, a little happy, fun character. So it changes from day to day. Yeah, lately it's been Tom from Toonami, just because he came back and I get to do him every week, and so I think about that a lot. Of course, that from Star Wars, he's on my mind.
Yeah.
Your favorite character?
I think the Major from Ghost in the Shell was just such a huge role for me because it's the first time I played someone that wasn't evil and that wasn't sick and twisted, that had my voice. Because normally in the world of anime, the heroines, the female leads have high, cute voices. Sailor Moon and everything else, and the witches and the baddies have my voice. So for the first time, I got to play a role who was a really strong woman, female. And it was my voice, and I think she made me stronger. The more I portrayed her, the stronger a human being I became. Like she unlocked something inside of me that I didn't know I had, a confidence. That was sort of amazing. You know, I don't walk around with a gun, but it's like in my head, you know.
No, she has a lot of swords, though.
I do. I have a lot of swords. I don't know why. Steve got me a broadsword for Christmas, which is kind of awesome.
We get each other weapons, that's how romantic we are.
Yeah, so we went to the Ren Fair last weekend, and I went as my character from Diablo 3. I went as the female crusader, so that was really fun.
I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass.
So we can have 2 questions?
Sure.
First one, have you ever had a situation where you had like used your character's voices like in public to freak people out?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I wanted to be on Star Trek, as I said, and I really wanted to be on Next Generation, but it ended by the time I came out. Voyager was on, and I did end up getting to be on Voyager. At the time when I got booked for that role, I was doing a role in El Hazard the Wanderers, Diva, Queen of the Bugram Empire.
Who sounded a heck of a lot like Kate Mulgrew from Star Trek Voyager.
So I was in Vegas, and they were just closing up the Star Trek exhibit over at whatever hotel. Which hotel? At the Hilton, right? So they had this whole walkthrough thing where you're being chased by the Borg and everything, and I was there, and there was a couple of young people ahead of us, and they were terrified and really into it. The Borg came, and the girl was screaming, and the guy was protecting her, and then we got to the end, and there was Kate Mulgrew saying,
Well done, Star Voyagers. You know, congratulations and thank you for helping us save the Borg.
the lights went to black, and I just stood behind them, and I said,
Well, I thought that went very well, don't you?
and then who else was like, what? And screamed and looked around. I was like, who said that? That's crazy. What? You know. So I messed up some kids, but it was really fun.
I told a story yesterday about Goofy at Disneyland. I used to follow Goofy around and do his voice and freak out the character. So my head can't fast enough to see what it was. But I used to go into Toys R Us and buy my action figures because I'm a dork and I have a big collection of them. And that's the most exciting thing for me is when they make an action figure out of one of my characters. I don't remember which one it was. It was either Guilmon from Digimon or Wolverine. And I was in a Toys R Us and let's say for the sake of argument it was Wolverine. There was a little boy who had the character in his hand. He was trying to get his mom to buy it for him. And I came up next to him and I said, I do the voice of that guy, Bub. And the little kid goes, Mommy! Except for you, because you're really smart. And a lot of little kids can't process that you know, these voices from these beloved characters come out of an old man's face. So he freaked out. His mother said, what did you say to my son? And she comes after me with her handbag.